What's going on, everyone? It's Riley, and I'm here with a quick, small little haul video. If you watched my previous haul, and if you haven't, then go back and check that out. But I mentioned in a previous video that I had my package from earlier in the month had been delayed because it got sent to a different city. So 1 week after it was originally supposed to be delivered, finally got here, got to open it up, and everything arrived mostly safe and sound. A couple of books were a little dinged up, but not too bad that I was turned off by it. It's all good, all good. But anyway, just wanted to go through and show these books real quick and give a little bit of commentary, so maybe I can give you something else to think about picking up. So the first two books are both Black Widow titles. These are both released earlier this month in March. So the movie was originally meant to come out, I guess, end of April, beginning of May, but now with everything going on, it has been delayed, and we don't know when any of these movies, that New Mutants, which has been delayed numerous times already, I know 007, they released, the date was going to be for November. But there's a lot of movies basically being delayed. But anyway, this gives everyone plenty of time to catch up on some cool Black Widow comics. So what we had come out earlier in the month that I grabbed, this is the complete collection by Mark Waid and Chris Samnee. This is a fantastic series. I absolutely loved it as it was coming out in single issues. This trade paperback collects all 12 issues that Waid and Samnee did together. Originally, it was released across two smaller paperbacks. This was released with a cover price of $30, so definitely easy to find that for less than $20 online. Very well done. If you were a fan of Waid's Daredevil series that he did with Chris Samnee, you already have kind of an idea of the kind of story, not really the story, because it's different. Of course, Black Widow, her stuff is usually focuses on her having been a spy and having been, her secretive life from before she joined up with the Avengers and all that stuff. That's going to usually a common trope with her series and all of her books. And that's what it kind of does here. So it's different in content from what her Daredevil was, but you can expect the same kind of just really well done, well choreographed, high-flying action with really cool page layouts and stuff like that. Chris Samnee is just a fantastic artist who I honestly would not have pegged to be my first choice for a Widow book at first, but it works out really well. He's got a really just great sense about him that I, at this point, would be happy with him drawing any book that he wants to put his pencil to. But yeah, I highly recommend this one. It's a great book. If you've never read any Widow material before, this is a great one to pick up to kind of get you into the character affiliated with her. Now, there were a couple of other Widow books that happened after this one, before this next one that I'm showing, Web of the Black Widow. Basically, if you wanted to go chronologically, there's I forget what the subtitle is, but it's by the Soska sisters, and that was the next mini-series that followed this one. I think that was the next one chronologically. There was, I think in between the two is where Secret Empire happens, and in Secret Empire, spoilers, if you haven't read that or don't know what happens, spoiler alert, Black Widow does die in that one. And there's a couple of books that kind of deal with that and then her coming back. And this is Web of Black Widow by Jody Houser, kind of with her back in the Marvel Universe, and she is now interacting with a lot of the different characters. The miniseries by the Soska sisters was very disconnected. It's been a minute since I read it, but if I remember correctly, it's kind of disconnected from the rest of the Marvel Universe. The one that follows that is actually Tales to Astonish, I think is what the title was, by Matthew Rosenberg. And it's not 100% a Black Widow book. It's more, has Winter Soldier and I think Hawkeye teaming up. And it deals with them kind of and finding out that Black Widow is back. And then this one is her interacting more with the Marvel Universe and a lot of the other characters. Again, Winter Soldier, Tony Stark and stuff like that. and it's just typical with, like I was talking about with the previous book with Black Widow, a lot of stuff that has to deal with her having been a spy and her mysterious past and stuff like that. Jodie Houser, though, really fantastic writer. She's done a lot of work on a few different Star Wars books for Marvel, and also very well known for the, was it Faith book at Valiant. I think that was the first big one where I started to recognize her name. And then as well as Faith and her Star Wars books, she had at DC the Mother Panic, which was a series under Gerard Way's Young Animal imprint that was kind of like a female, almost Batman type character who operates in Gotham. So that was a really fun series as well. So Jodie Houser is cool, and if you're looking for a good, quick Black Widow story, it's only 5 issues, cover price of $15.99. This would be a good one to pick up. And you have plenty of time to catch up on some cool Black Widow stories now that we have the movie being delayed and we don't know exactly when it's going to come out. So go out there. I recommend both of those. I recommend the also the series by Nathan Edmondson. It has 3 volumes. I know Edmondson himself is a little bit problematic in some ways, but his Black Widow series was really, really well done. It has fantastic artwork by Phil Noto, so I definitely recommend that one. And then the big one, this is the last book from this haul, and this is the big one, is Power Pack Classic Omnibus Volume 1. Now, I know a lot of people were very much not excited about this, but I am one of those people who was excited. Power Pack is a series that I've been exposed to for a long time. When I was a lot younger, I would go to my grandparents' house, and they had a bunch of comics there that were my uncle's old comics, actually. And he had a bunch of Power Pack issues from when it was originally being published in the mid to late 80s. And I would, flip through those and stuff, and I thought it was a really cool series because it was the only one that really had, it was a super team made of children. We had, the teenage teams like the New Mutants and the Teen Titans and stuff like that. And of course, a lot of superheroes had their sidekicks like Robin and stuff like that. But this was the first that was like a preteen team of heroes. And of course, we have the 4 Power siblings, and then they also bring in Franklin Richards winds up being part of the team as well. So it has kind of these connections to the mutants and stuff like that. The kids, the Power family, the 4 siblings, are not mutants, they're mutates. So, just to kind of clarify that. But the series does get crossed over with the X-Men. It did cross over, I think, with Fall of the Mutants and Mutant Massacre. I guess the other way around. Mutant Massacre and then Fall of the Mutants. And I think it also had some tie-in with Inferno. So it was commonly being looped in there. And that's where, in those crossovers, I actually started to read some of the Power Pack material was in those hardcovers that collect a few issues. But I was never able to read the series as a whole, like all the way through. So this would be the first time I'd be able to do that. This collects the first half of the original ongoing Power Pack series. It has issues 1 through 36. It went for 60 some odd issues, so a little bit more than half. It does not collect. This is the part that was interesting to me, and I kind of want to go off on a little bit of a discussion on that. They cut it off before Louise Simonson's run ended. Louise Simonson was the one who started up the series. She was the one that was writing it for the first however many issues. They cut it off before she finishes writing the series. And then they label it, of course, with Volume 1. It would have been easy for Marvel to just say, let's just label it Power Pack by Louise Simonson, have that run by itself, just publish it like that. And that would have sold just fine. But doing it like this, labeling it Power Pack Classic, and then putting the Volume 1 there as well, to me that says there's a good possibility, and they've been really good about not orphaning any books lately. It's been a while since we've had an orphaned book, and what I mean is like a Volume 1, like Ultimate Spider-Man Volume 1, that is then released without a Volume 2, and so on. They've done really well with stopping that trend. So what that tells me is that they probably plan on releasing Power Pack Classic Volume 2, which will go through the rest of the original ongoing run, collect the rest of that series with the different writers all the way to the end. And then the fact that it has Classic on it was also a little bit interesting to me. They could have just called it Power Pack Volume 1, but labeling it as classic tells me that maybe there's a chance they want to do some sort of collection with the more recent, the 2000s Power Pack material with all the different miniseries of the kids teaming up with the X-Men and Spider-Man and stuff like that. So it'd be interesting to see what Marvel decides to do from here. At the very least, I'm just hoping that we do get Classic Volume 2 so we can finish off this run on the shelves. I'm very satisfied, though. This is a nice, thick volume. It does collect issues 1 through 36 of Power Pack 195 and 205 of the Uncanny X-Men, Thor number 363, X-Factor Annual number 2, Marvel graphic novel Cloak and Dagger / Power Pack, Shelter from the Storm, and material from Strange Tales 13 and 14. So a lot of material in here with a $125 cover price, easily able to get for around half off still online. There is a I think this is the standard cover, but there was a variant cover that was released. If I remember, I just chose the one that I liked better. But the DM variant is the one that's sold out. But the standard cover volume should still be available. There's not so many big Power Pack fans buying this up that they would run out of the standard cover, at least not yet. But yeah, if you're a X-completist, this one kind of falls into the kind of an X book, and that's one reason to pick it up. But also, if you're just a fan of these kind of stories, this was something different that Marvel was doing at the time, and that's kind of a big reason why I picked it up, was because I have fond memories of looking at these things when I was a kid, and I like to return to it and actually read everything and see for myself how I feel about it. And there's a good chance that I might be like, this is crap. I don't like this at all, and I just sell it off. But either way, I want to make up my mind for it myself. So that's all I got right now. Sorry that this package took an extra week to come to me, but thank you so much for listening and watching me unpack and stuff. If you have any questions about these books or want any further recommendations for anything related to, I guess, Black Widow, since that's what I was talking about for the first half of this video, let me know. I have a pretty decent sized collection of Black Widow material in my collection right now. And I am trying to put out my second half of my library tour video. I had issues in the first half where I was showing my manga collection. Check it out if you haven't yet. It's a really cool video. Where towards the end, there was not a lot of light on one of the shelves. My Western comics are hit a lot worse with that issue. So I need to find, a lamp and an extension cable or something to light up the room, and then once I do that, I'll go ahead and do a new video going through the second half of my collection and show all of that. In the meantime, thank you so much for your patience. I hope everyone is staying healthy and happy and safe out there, and making the best of the time that you have right now. If you are quarantining due to the current situation, make the best of that time and spend some nice time with your family that you have around you. In the meantime, I'm just happy to put out content to keep people entertained and help to keep the sanity while you're stuck at home with not much to do. Anyway, I'll be back with another video soon. Thank you again so much for watching. We'll see you next time.